Welcome back to the Ritz Camera Chronicles, where we tell stories of working at Ritz Camera as it was going bankrupt. I have already been fired by this point. I have not yet revealed the story about how I was fired and banned from the property. That's going to be another grand finale to all of this.
And we're out of drinks, too.
So we're going to have to hurry then. But in this story, Patrick will be fired, and then Ritz Camera will collapse.
I was transitioning into applying to dental school and then becoming a photographer. At this point, I was shooting weddings. I started working with you, assisting you at weddings, and I realized, man, you can make a lot of money shooting weddings, and you're only working one day out of the week, and then, you're editing pictures for the next day or two. But, realistically, 3 days worth of work, you make a great living. I'm making way more money shooting weddings now than I am working at Ritz Camera. But I still like the comfort of having the day job.
And working at Ritz Camera back then would save us 40% on Nikon gear. That was huge.
Yeah, if you worked at Ritz Camera, you could buy gear at a discounted rate. I didn't want to quit Ritz. I enjoyed having something to do during the day. It also gave me insurance, which if you're self-employed, you know that insurance kind of can be a pain and whatnot. And I was just in the system. I had great insurance through Ritz Camera. That's one thing I can always say that they did provide for their employees.
Ritz Camera may have saved your life. I guess you would have had the surgery anyway.
Yeah, but
Ritz Camera insurance paid like $75,000 for a really serious surgery.
Yeah, I have Crohn's disease, and I had a pretty bad flare up and had to have surgery, and so at least prevented me from going bankrupt. So I always do feel thankful for that, but that's a whole other story. So I'm working both at Ritz Camera and I'm doing the weddings. At this point, you're just doing the weddings, but you've been fired, which is a whole other story. And so you always want to know, you've kind of become obsessed with Ritz. You want to know the inner workings because you see the end. You know this can't possibly work out with them.
The entire company is built on buffoons, and I know they cannot be making money.
Yeah.
The way that everybody's cooking the books and the way that all the higher-up managers are in on it, there's no way this company can continue.
And so I think around this time, there's about 6 stores in Charleston. The store downtown shuts down. The store in Citadel Mall shuts down. I don't even know where the other stores were. There were 6 stores. There was a lot of stores in our little area. They all start shutting down, and next thing you know, we're getting new this is always crazy to me. We had managers from other stores come and now be regular employees.
Yeah, so you went from making $28,000 a year down to making $22,000 a year?
Yeah, you used to manage a store, and now you run the lab. It doesn't make any sense. At this point, it's any day now, I feel man, which store is going to shut down? And then are they going to keep me? I would hope they do, because I'm the most knowledgeable person about photography now, still working for Ritz Camera. You have left. Everybody else has no clue what they're talking about. All the upper management was this is the best thing possible for the company because this means we can shut down the stores.
I do remember them saying stuff like that.
Yeah, they'd be this means that we can shut down the stores that weren't profitable and we can, consolidate everything into the stores that are profitable, and this is going to make us leaner and meaner. Was always the phrase that they would use. We will be able to absorb all of the business that these stores had that weren't doing well.
And now, you know how we don't have that many professional cameras? Now it's going to be a professional store. We're going to get all the customers from all over town.
Yeah, so instead of all of it being split over 6 stores in Charleston, there's only going to be 1 or 2, and we're going to get everything. At the time, I was thinking maybe this is for the best, and I don't want to say I have faith in the company, but they're moving people around. Everyone can't possibly be this naive, they're going to put the right people in charge. I'm still at the stage where I'm nervous to go full-time into photography just because, I went to college and I had this game plan of you go to college, you go to medical school. If you don't get into medical school, you go to, graduate school. And I had this plan set out from day one that this is what I want to do. And then here you are, the self-employed person, and I'm just thinking I can't do this. I can't let go of everything that I've done and be self-sufficient on the income that I bring in. That seems so scary to me at the time. Now I have the opposite fear. I can't possibly imagine working for somebody else at this stage in my career, I can't go back to it. But at this moment, I'm juggling both, and I'm like, I got 1 foot in the self-employment, and I got 1 foot in, still having a corporate job. On our days off, where we weren't shooting weddings, and we actually had a day off, we're out on the boat. I think there was like a voicemail. Hey, call me when you get a second. Like, it's going down. We filmed this phone call.
Hey, what's up, man? It's Mike. I'm pretty sure Jim has already called you. Just letting you know that we are closing Saturday. This is our last day here. I don't know what the hell is going on with the staff. I don't know who's going where.
Holy crap. And so, I post the video up on YouTube, and I forget what I titled it, but like it became one of the most viewed videos for Ritz Camera.
Yeah, I think if you go on YouTube right now and type in just Ritz Camera, I think your video may come up first, and it doesn't have that many video views, but
it's got like 2,000 views or something. But
it's just hilarious because Ritz Camera was around when YouTube was fairly big.
Yeah.
And they had tons of ads and tons of promotions and stuff all over YouTube, but your video of getting fired from Ritz is number one.
And the thing is this video that becomes number one for Ritz Camera isn't even the video of me getting fired. This is just the video of like our stores closing. And I forget what I titled it back then. It was like Ritz Camera goes bankrupt while I'm on a boat or something. And so the next day or two, we're back out on the boat. And then suddenly I see that I get a phone call from my manager, like the district manager. And I'm like, this is the phone call. Like, I'm getting fired. Like, I have to be. They're letting me go. I'm not getting fired, but I'm getting released. So we filmed that video as well.
Hey, Jim, it's Patrick. I was just returning your call.
I don't have a position for you at the other store.
Okay, so you are keeping one store open?
Yeah, 607 will stay open.
Okay.
As far as growth goes, if they do really well the next couple of months, I may be able to bring them back at Christmas time.
I wind up putting that video on YouTube as well. So if you type in Ritz Camera, I have 2 of the most viewed videos for that company, and both of them are me on a boat hearing that my store is closing and then getting fired by my district manager.
Ritz was lying to everyone. They were lying to their managers who were lying to the employees. And they were acting like, we're just going to get lean and mean and, we're all going to make more money than ever.
It's all for the best.
When in reality, I think they all, at the higher-ups, knew exactly what they were doing. But, they didn't want people to rob the company or something, so they were acting like everything was fine. But at the same time, Ritz started robbing
their vendors.
Yeah, their vendors. And the way they did this, as I understand it, and
this is all speculation.
This is all from what I've
Hearsay.
heard. I don't know, and I don't know the law or the deals they
supposedly.
They did not buy the camera equipment from the camera companies. The camera companies would loan it to them, and then Ritz Camera would pay them back once they sold it.
Right.
So that's how Ritz Camera was the largest seller of Nikon cameras in the world.
All the inventory was on loan.
When Ritz Camera knew that they were going to go bankrupt, what they decided to do was just sell everything at wholesale, which broke, all the rules of selling things for an MSRP and all that. And they sold it as quickly as they possibly could. They hire outside workers to come in. They fire all of you. I was long gone by then. They fire all of you. They hire these closeout people to come in.
People who are really good with liquidations.
Yeah. And they start selling everything at discounts. And if you got to go into those stores on the right day, you could get a Pro DSLR for 75% off. And then Ritz just declares bankruptcy and is like, we're not going to pay anybody back for any of this. We're bankrupt. David Ritz then creates a new company and then buys Ritz Camera for pennies on the dollar and then reopens more stores. So they go bankrupt, but then they come back from the dead, and then there's Ritz Camera for a little while longer.
And this is speculation. This is what our managers told us. It was something like Nikon helped bail David Ritz out, and they were part owners now of the new company.
That's what happened. That's
what it was. And it was that's the only reason that someone like Nikon would stick around was they said, we still have faith in the brick and mortar stores.
Right. So when they opened back up, Canon wasn't there, which was ridiculous because Canon made the best point-and-shoot cameras, which is what Ritz Camera sold. And then Ritz Camera, of course, failed again and, went bankrupt. Maybe there's one left in the U.S. or something at this point. Fast forward 10 years, we start F-Stoppers. we create the F-Stoppers flash disc. We're selling it online. And Ritz Camera Online, which is still a thing, reaches out to us. And they say, hey guys, we love your product. We want to carry it online. And we're like, okay, cool, sounds good. Here's the wholesale price. Here's how many you have to buy and everything. And they say, well, we don't want to pay for it. We want you to send it to us, and we will pay you as it is
Like a net
sold.
30, like we'll sell you, we'll give you back.
Yeah. And I don't remember if you wrote the email or me, but oh, it was so sweet. It was like, actually, we worked at Ritz Camera while you did this to Nikon, Sony, and Canon back 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We know exactly what you did to all of these companies. And there's no way in hell we're letting you do that to us as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think Ritz Camera ever sold the F-Stopper
They
flash
never had
disc.
the flash disc. But the thing is like working with other professional. I mean, the photography industry is pretty small. Like, at least when it comes to the manufacturers and the sales reps and all of that, there's been several times where, like, we've heard other stories, you know? It's like, I didn't know that Ritz Camera even sold Hasselblad or some of this high-end stuff. And you would just have some drinks at, you know, a photo convention, and next thing you know, like, you're hearing how much they screwed over all these other companies. Like,
Yeah, they just
imagine a
robbed
company like Hasselblad, who, like, every camera is $5,000, $10,000,
$30,000.
$30,000. You have a couple of those that just never, they get caught up in that, you know, the bankruptcy. It's like these companies lost a lot of inventory, a lot of money.
And it just kept coming up. We would meet these vendors, and they would go, oh, yeah, we were involved in that. And then I remember when, I think it was Calumet, went under in New York City, and I was at that store. I was talking with someone, and they said, you know who they just hired? I said,
Yeah.
no. And they said, they just hired the law firm that helped
liquidate.
David Ritz during his bankruptcy because it was so successful
Yeah.
for the Ritz Corporation. And I think that kind of wraps up the Ritz Camera Chronicles. We've told a lot of stories. We've been filming for literally hours. Our drinks have run dry.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's been fun to remember.
And you know what's going to happen. Like, now that we've wrapped this up, we're going to remember some more stories.
Maybe, and we can always come back here and film a little bit more. And we still have the big one to record. We still
That's got to
have
be like
to
a
tell
part
the
two.
story.
It's got it.
It's going to be an hour-long episode in itself of how I was fired from Ritz Camera,
And they put a restraining order.
restraining order against me. Detective Bacon was put on the case. This is not a joke.
A cop named Detective Bacon.
A cop named Detective Bacon.
It's like
called
out
me.
of South Park or something.
Yep. Subpoenas were involved.
AOL.
AOL Instant Messenger was involved.
What was the phone company? MCI?
Yep. MCI was involved. It went deep. It went.
Wasn't there a point when you moved to Puerto Rico that you were worried that, like, this story that will be
I
the
was
next
worried about
episode
this.
would
So,
come back?
Yeah, when we moved down here, we had to get a background check done, and I didn't really think about it. And then as I was getting the background check done, I looked at Patrick and went, "Oh my gosh, Patrick! What if this event
is on your record.
ruins this entire move?" I didn't even think about this. I don't even know how to look at a record. I don't know if I'm in the police reports or not. Thank you guys for watching. For more info just like this, head over to fstoppers.com for daily free photography related content that's not this ridiculous. You can head over to fstoppers.com/store to check out all of our full-length photography tutorials. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and you hit that notification button, because one day soon, when you least expect it,
You're going to hear the greatest story
you're
ever
going
told.
to hear the greatest story of my life and the greatest story ever told.